Welcome back to another episode. Ryan here with Chaos MMA, and today we've on EthanGoff. Ethan, man, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well, brother. How are you?
I'm doing great. A great day so far. And what's the day looking like for you? What's the upcoming day for you?
Um, Honestly, it's not super busy today. I'm still recovering. I broke my hand in my last fight, so I have a follow-up doctor's appointment on Thursday. Hopefully I can start up PT and everything this week or next week or whatever. Um, Going in to watch team practice just to be a part of like everything that's going on there at the MMA Lab and stay around my my fight family and then, like I said, I clean the gym at night too, so I kind of live there. So it's at least I'm still there even though I'm out. And, the schedule hasn't changed too much.
Yeah, and does it help to still be around the gym even during that injury? You're around the environment where you're with all your teammates. Like, does that help with recovery and everything else?
Yeah, I mean, I think it mainly just like helps to keep the mind at ease. I'm in there like always harassing people, kicking people, and stuff like that. So I get in as much work as I can. Yesterday we had a striking class like for team practice, and I was able to actually do most of practice just because it was a lot of like bag work and stuff like that. So I've gotten to where like it doesn't hurt to move around too quickly or anything, so I can like smash the bag or whatever. So that was pretty nice.
Yeah, and speaking of the hand injury and everything else, your fight was about like a month ago now, maybe a little over a month.
Right.
So how is the recovery going right now? Like, is it getting better by the day?
Yeah, it's like they told me when I went in that it was going to be like 10 to 12 weeks, I think, for the recovery. But I didn't need surgery or anything. Like it was still in line and stuff like that. I actually like now that I'm thinking about it more, kind of think I reset it after the fight on accident because I like pulled the finger. I felt it like crunch back in the back of my hand. And then like when I went, I was like, I hit him so many times, like there's no way it's still gonna be in place. But they told me that they didn't need to realign anything, they didn't need any screws, but it was definitely broken like all the way through. So, it's just a weird thing. But like I don't know. They gave me a brace. They gave me the option between a brace or a cast, and obviously I chose the brace. So um, it's nice. When I'm at home, I usually take it off, but when I'm out and about, I try to keep it on just so people don't bump into it or so I don't accidentally use it or whatever.
Yeah, and when exactly, like at what point in the fight did you feel that break in the hand? Like when did it happen in the fight?
It's like the first minute
Oh
actually.
wow. Okay.
So I got a knockdown in like the first minute of the
Yeah.
fight. Through like stepped in with like lead like rear upper, and then I threw a left hook and then a right hook right after, and then the hook like landed with just the like pointer finger knuckle on his cheek. And then I was like, oh man, that doesn't feel great. And I just like kind of felt the bones and stuff shift in my hand throughout the fight as I was like trying to grapple and stuff, like posting, like just didn't feel normal. So then I told my corner like right at the end of the first round, I was like, hey man, I think I broke my hand. And then we just went forward from there.
Yeah, but how about that though? You go on, you fight through the adversity with the broken hand, you go on to win that fight, you win the next two rounds. So how about that? Doing that in amateur stage, like you didn't even have your pro debut yet, and you're already doing stuff like this in amateur. So how much do you think that's going to help when you start getting up more even in the rankings?
Oh man, I really think like that you need some adversity and stuff
Yeah.
like that because a lot of people don't get tested and they don't try to test themselves at these early stages. And then they get into their pro career, they start out early and they fight somebody that's tough and they can't work through stuff like that, or they don't know how to react to it. So I'm really appreciative that I had that opportunity.
Yeah, you had that opportunity. You went out there, you won that fight. And would you say that was your toughest fight yet with all your fights so far? Would you say that was the toughest one?
Yeah, I would probably say so. Like, I actually have two losses like early in my career
Yeah.
training at an American Top Team affiliate, and just not great coaching,
Yeah.
and not great circumstances for those fights. So I'm happy that my career is going in like a better direction now. Um, but even like with those two fights, like yeah, that was probably the toughest one.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about MMA Lab later on, but I just wanted to ask you real quick, what were your thoughts of Austin as an opponent beforehand, and then you get in there with him? So, what were your thoughts on Austin? Like, would you say he was really, really tough?
Yeah, like so I was supposed to fight this guy Brandon Holloway,
Yeah,
and man, this kid's pulled out a couple times, super annoying. So um I hate when people do that, dude. Like, I had to pull out against him the same weekend actually last year, but that's like my mom passed away
Okay.
the week
I didn't know that.
before, and the funeral services were that weekend. So like, I'd pull out because of that, and then we tried to set the fight up 2 more times after that, and just I don't know exactly what happened, but he couldn't make it to the fight due to personal reasons. So it's annoying, but everybody has their own stuff, I guess. So I'm happy that Austin stepped up. So that says something in itself. He's down to scrap, and going into the fight, like watching some footage and stuff like that, like he seemed tough, he seemed technical. Like the guys he fought weren't slouches.
Yeah.
So like I think that Brandon kid like was half as skilled as Austin was. So I was happy to have a step up in competition too.
Is that Brandon fight still a fight you're gonna want one day just because he pulled out? Is that the fight or you don't even
No,
want
I'm over it. I'm
over?
over it. I'm
Okay.
past that.
Okay. And speaking of everything, you win this fight in May. When do you want to get back in there? Like, do you have the specific timeline on when the hand injury is going to be like better so you can start getting back in training, you can start getting back in the octagon?
Man, ASAP. Like
Yeah.
my fiance and I have a baby coming early
Cool.
August. So as soon as
Congratulations.
get settled in with that, thank you, brother. Get settled in with that, then get right back in there. I'd like to get back into training within the next couple weeks though.
Yeah.
So,
Look forward to seeing you getting back in there soon. I hope that hand heals up fast. And do you think this next fight is your pro debut, or are you looking to do like a few more amateur fights? Like what's on the mind right now?
man, I mean, I'd like to go whenever.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to have lunch with my coach here soon, so we can sit down and talk about some stuff like that, or basically anytime. Like, really, just need to get his thoughts on it and see where he wants to go with everything.
Yeah. And speaking of coaches, like you were saying earlier, your first two fights training with the American top team down in Philly, but now you're with MMA Lab, one of the best gyms in the world. Your coaches, I'm sure, helped you. Like, how much do you credit MMA Lab for your first fight win streak you reckon now?
Oh man, really, like if we didn't work on on like beating each other up so much, like throughout the week and week after week and year after year, everything out there at the MMA Lab, like just to toughen each other up. Like I think it would have been a lot harder to deal with a broken hand and like fighting all the way to a decision and everything else. Because like I feel like a lot of the times amateur fights end pretty early. You get a lot of submissions. People look for a way out, but when you get a tough opponent like Austin, like it's a fight bell to bell. So really I can't thank them enough. I have a great team that I get to work with and full of like a room full of killer 135ers. So I can't ask for any better training.
Yeah, there's so many good fighters in that gym. And speaking like when you have a fight and everything else, who are your main training partners for like a fight? Like who do you specifically train with like kind of the most in that gym?
So for like our kickboxing days, usually I'm partnered up with my brother,
Okay.
which he fights at 155 and 170. So it's like there's a size discrepancy, but when it comes to like striking days and stuff like that, as long as you can flow with somebody, I think it works well. And then for grappling, Mario Bautista is usually my main wrestling partner. And then for our sparring rounds and stuff, we have a couple other amateurs and like early pros that I do a lot of rounds with.
Yeah. That's great,
So
man. I really can't wait to see you back in there. I hope that injury gets healed up fast. And last thing here, thanks again for your time. Since we just met, what does Ethan like to do in his free time?
man, so we have like a photography business that we're trying to start up on the side. We've been doing pretty well with that, so that's pretty fun. Um, as far as free time goes, man, like I don't have too much of it. So, but we enjoy doing that. I enjoy fighting, so I enjoy pretty much everything I do anyway.
What for the photography business? Like, what do you guys specifically like taking pictures of like events and stuff?
Yeah, so we started out, we bought a camera from a pawn shop like right before we moved out here, because we moved from Florida. And I just thought like for sponsors and stuff, it'd be better to have some high quality pictures and content to post and share and promote their stuff. So, we bought it like purely for, personal reasons. Then we got into the gym and then like we started taking pictures of people in the gym. We're like, oh, like we're kind of good at this. So then we actually got hit up by Gracie Baja to do one of their like CombatQuest tournaments to take the pictures of the tournament and everything like that. So that turned out pretty well, and then we started just kind of getting the ball rolling, booking like personal shoots and stuff out and about, like around Phoenix and doing some graduation pictures. But, really it's fun to like go to events and take pictures of, jujitsu, or like if we can get into some fights and stuff like that, would be great.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. I hope you guys get continued success with that, and I hope the injury heals up soon. And once again, thanks again for the time. I appreciate it. And if you want to thank any sponsors, shout out any social media, man. The floor is yours.
Oh, thanks, brother. So Brothers Jerky is a big one. Best jerky in the world, I believe. It's over on I think 59th and Peoria here in Arizona. If you're an Arizona local, then Tattoos by Don Don, Health Wellness Botanicals, Mitchell Chiropractic. Like the list goes on and on. I have a whole team behind me. If you check out my social media, my Instagram is at EthanGoff. They're gonna be plastered all over there. So I can't thank them enough.
Yeah. Thanks
And then
again.
of course, like can't help can't thank I have to thank my team at the MMA Lab, like everybody there. If it wasn't for them, like wouldn't be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks again for the time, man. I really appreciate it. And we'll catch up soon. Thanks again.
Thanks, brother.
Have a good one.
You as well.